lesson today. We're going to talk about singular and plural nouns. Remember, what is a noun? A noun could be a thing, could be a place, could be an animal, okay? Let's going to do a review about the use of a or an. Remember, we use a or an with singular nouns, so just one. We use a before a consonant sound and we use n before a vowel sound. For example, this is a cat. This is a consonant sound, so we should have a. This is an umbrella. So this is a vowel sound, we use an. When to use a, an, or the? We use a for or an when the thing or person we talk about is not one in particular. So this is a book, okay? Is not particular, could be whichever book in the world. We're talking about a book. And we use the when the thing or the person we talk about is in particular. We already know what is that book that we're talking because we mentioned it before or because we already know that, okay? It's particular. This is the book we use in our lesson because we already know what is the book that we are talking about. For things in general, we don't use a or the. For example, English. We're talking about English in general. We don't say a English. We don't say the English. It is from. We just say English students work in groups. So we're talking about English students. Okay. People in Spain read newspaper. So we don't say the people. We don't say a people. No, we say people because we're talking in general. Okay. Let's continue. Remember, we were talking about plural. So, we normally use S to make plural sounds, like in Spanish, okay? Like in Spanish, if we say, for example, una silla, decimos dos sillas. In English, most of the nouns, we make the plural by adding just an S. But let's go into see. For example, one tree, two trees, a photo, so just one photo. We say some photos, okay? But we have different rules. For example, we have when we have nouns ending in S, double F, SH, CH, double Z, or X, instead of adding just an S, like in the previous rule, we need to add ES to make the plural. For example, bus, so one bus, in this case we say two buses. One dress, we say two dresses. One dish, two dishes. One sandwich, two sandwiches. One box, two boxes. One bus, two buses. Okay? So if we have nouns ending in those, we need to make the plural adding es instead of adding just one s. Then some names ending in o, we make the plural also adding es. For example, like potato, we say one potato, two potatoes. One hero, two heroes. One tomato, two tomatoes. Why? Because if before the O we have a consonant, we need to add ES. Okay? But other names ending in O make their plural adding just an S. Remember, one photo, two photos. Why this? Well, this is a exception about the rule because this is a consonant sound. This is a consonant letter, but we need to add just an X because it's an exception. But pay attention to this. This is a radio, so just one, two radios. So before the O, we have a vowel. And when we have a vowel, we need to add S. Okay, what happens when we have nouns ending in consonant plus a Y? We make plural nouns with IES. So we need to remove this Y and change it by an I because we have a consonant in a Y. For example, cherry. We have that noun is ending in a Y. But before the Y, we have a consonant. So we need to change the Y by an I. And we say cherries. Diary, diaries. Baby, babies. And if before the Y we have a vowel, we need to add just an X. Okay? Pay attention to this, but for nouns ending in vowel plus Y, we use S. For example, day, 1 day, 2 days. One boy, two boys. Okay. We have also nouns ending in F or FE. So what happens when we have nouns ending in F with FE? We need to change this for VES. So we remove the F and we add V and we add ES. But if we have the E, we don't need to add. So we change it. The ending is going to be changed. So for example, we say knife. So the ending of this is FE. We remove the F and we change it by a V. And we add ES. Knife. Knife, knives. Knife, knives. Then in this is ending in F. Then we change it to VES. Shelf, shelves. Then we have the irregular nouns. Remember, in English, we have many irregular things. This one, for example, we say one man, two men, one woman, two women. Repeat, women, women, woman, women. One child, two children, three children, four children, many children. One tooth, two teeth. One foot, 2 feet. What happened with the regular nouns? We have to memorize them. We need to learn those by heart. Okay? Then we have more irregular. For example, we say person, one person, two people, three people, many people, police officer, so the plural is police. One mouse, two mice. One mouse, two mice, three mice. So remember, mice is already the plural form. We don't say mices, we don't say mouses. No, it is mice. One mouse, two mice. Okay? And what happens? Some nouns are always plural. So what happens with those? We cannot say a with this. For example, I cannot say a jean. No, it is always jeans. Some jeans, the jeans, but I cannot say a, okay, or one. A pair of jeans, we can say a pair of jeans, but those words are always plural. For example, jeans, trousers. So the way to say this in the British, if we say trousers, we are talking in British English. Jeans is the American. Or we can also say pants. Scissors, sunglasses or glasses, pajamas or clothes. Those are words that are always going to be in the plural form. Okay, here we have the rules. Make it in a simple chart. The rule for adding s, es, if they are ending in s, ch. All the information that we already saw is here in this slide. For example, pay attention to this. We have the consonant plus O. So we say hero, but the exceptions are piano and photo. Okay? Now, let's continue to talk about countable and uncountable nouns. Countable nouns. A countable noun can be singular, for example, banana, or plural, bananas. So, if we talk about countables, are things that we can count. We can say one banana or two bananas or three bananas or many bananas. We can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? For example, we have apple, apples, pineapple, pineapples, cucumber, cucumbers, strawberry, strawberries, grape, grapes. So we can count them, we can make the plural form for the words. But what happened with the uncountable nouns? Uncountable nouns has only one form. Uncountable nouns are things that we cannot count. We can put an S or a ES or a ES. So we cannot make a plural with the uncountable noun. We can say, we can't say one rice, two rices. No. It is always going to be just the base form. How do we count the uncountable nouns? So we need to count them. Yes. When we want to count the uncountable nouns, you have to put a phrase in front of the word. For example, a bar of white chocolate. So chocolate is uncountable. So we can measure. We can say a bar of, 3 bars of. So we can count the bars of chocolate, but we cannot count chocolate. We can say a bottle of milk or juice. 4 bottles. We can count the bottles, but we cannot count the milk or the juice. A jar of coffee, jam. 3 jars of coffee or jam. But we can count a jar, 2 jars, but we cannot count coffee. A carton of milk, juice. 4 cartons of milk, juice. A ball of ice, a few balls of ice. Okay, so we can measure, we can, yes, we need to use a phrase of this bar. So milk and jam are uncountable, but carton, bottle, and jar are countable. We cannot say 1 meal, 2 meal, but we can say 1 bottle, 2 jars, 2 bottles. Okay. Well, talking about countable and uncountable nouns. Remember the last class? We say is when we are talking about singular. We say are and some when we're talking about plural. So there is a kitten. There are some kittens. But if we're talking about uncountable, we're going to use always is or isn't. But we can never use are with uncountable nouns. For example, there is some beer. There isn't any beer. Is there any beer? There is a lot of beer. There isn't much beer. So when we talk about countable, we can use many, but for uncountable, we use much. That is going to be explained later on. Okay, so when we talk about negative, we say there isn't a kitten, there aren't any kittens. Is there a kitten? Are there any kittens? There are a lot of kittens. There aren't many. Pay attention, many. But when we say plural, we say much. Okay? Here we have, again, the rules about plurals. And here we have more information about uncountable nouns. We have a vocabulary here. For example, we say liquids and creamy substances. We say juice, we say water, milk, alcohol, coffee, tea, lemonade, wine, yogurt, sauce, honey, jam, soup. Okay, here we have many vocabulary materials. You need to practice what you need to memorize what is uncountable and what are countable nouns. Pay attention because maybe you can get confused that in Spanish we say bread, we say in Spanish one, we say in Spanish un pan, dos panes, tres panes, but in English bread is uncountable. You see, you can measure it. You can say a slide of bread. We can say a piece of bread. We can say, um, well, yes, a slide or a piece, but we cannot say one, two, three. No, it is always uncountable because we cannot add s or es to those words that are here. Okay, now here we have more vocabulary talking about food, countable and uncountables. Let's going to talk about now much and many. Use many with count nouns and much with not count nouns, as I was telling you before. For example, there are many restaurants. And always we're going to say, when we say many, the noun that we're talking is always going to be plural because many means more than two, more than three. So many, okay? There are many restaurants in my neighborhood, but there is not much traffic in this area. So traffic is an uncountable noun, so we need to use much. Many is used to make questions. It is not often used to make affirmative sentences, but is commonly used to make negative sentences. Let's going to see some examples. Uh, when we talk about, when we need to ask about quantities, we have this question, how many? But if we talk about countable nouns, how many parks are there? How many kids are there in the park? How many slides are available? Okay. There are many kids playing. There are many swings to use. There are many parents with their kids. And there are not houses in Shell. There are no slides available. There are no many kids playing. So we use many for plural countable nouns. And we use much is common in questions, negative statements, and in combination with adverb to. For example, is there much crime? Crime is an uncountable noun. Is there much noise and traffic? Noise and traffic are uncountable. Much privacy? Privacy is uncountable. How much? Remember when we need to talk about quantity, but talking about uncountable nouns, we need to say how much. How much privacy do your neighborhoods have? How much safety is there for the children? There is not much crime in the city. There is not much noise at night. There is not much privacy between neighbors. There is too much traffic in the mornings. There is too much nights because of the children. When we say too much, this too is giving a negative connotation, okay? So it is For example, there is too much traffic, so that irritates you. It's not good. I hate too much crime in some areas. Here we have some examples by making questions about how many and how much. How many animals? So remember, when we use many, the noun is needs, should, must be countable, and it's always going to be plural. How many animals are there? How many balls can you carry? How many blades of grass are there? How many cards? How many children? How many colors? How many eggs? Okay? But when we talk about uncountable nouns, we say how much. How much cheese is left? How much effort does it take? How much farther to walk? How much homework? Homework in English is an uncountable noun. We never say one homework, two homeworks. No. Homework cannot be counted. Okay? Milk, noise, rope, sound. Okay? Here you have many vocabulary you need to practice. And when we talk about the time, if we're counting the times you do something, you can count the time. For example, how many times did the teacher ask how much homework was finished? How many times? So, how many you can use it with time when you're talking about, in Spanish, veces, número de veces. But if you're talking about the time, you need to use much. How much time do you take to get prepared? ¿Cuánto tiempo te demoras? If we talk about the time, si hablamos del tiempo en general, it is uncountable. The time we cannot count it. But if we talk about the número de veces, we can count. So we can say how many. And that is it for today, guys. Remember, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Okay, bye bye.